Angus Mackenzie to do their bidding in the council meeting. When property items are legitimately withdrawn from the council agenda based on legitimate concerns of a ward councillor, it is the ward councillor that would speak in council and motivate the withdrawal. That is a well-established practice in our caucus. Dave Bryant didn't have the balls to do his own dirty work. The abandonment of this site is symbolic of the empty promises made to voters, and I refuse to allow my voice to be used to mask the lies being released to the press. I cannot in good conscience continue to serve the citizens of this country in my current role when it is now proven to me and clear for all to see that the DA has no desire or urgency to tackle critical problems like housing that we should be addressing. Their manifesto. This manifesto promises to integrate communities. It is written in the manifesto. The promise to integrate communities is a lie. And I've been wasting my time trying to implement this while behind the scenes, the insiders have been killing the projects off. I told my staff, my office staff, that if we undertake all this work and the caucus rejected it, as I heard that they were planning to do, I would have to resign, as I could not, with any credibility, continue to meet with communities and promise that we were doing everything we can to assist them. I therefore resign as a member of the DA with immediate effect. I hope through my exposure of these immoral actions that public pressure would be brought to bear on elected representatives who made these promises and who are denying housing and opportunity to our cities who need it the most. I hope that the public continues and in fact increases their support to our city housing officials who are equally despondent. I hope, as this Salt River market site demonstrates, that the public understand that sometimes delays and delivery constraints may, despite the best efforts of hard-working officials, be way beyond their control and actually lie in the political space. I want to address the Bowman allegations. I'm sure you're aware that I'm being the subject of a multi-million rand Bowman investigation, and these reports have now fortunately finally been made public. I expect that the DA will use this to justify my resignation from the party, but I assure you that it was I who asked for the investigation, and I deny any wrongdoing or any allegation of corruption. The first report makes no findings against me whatsoever. You know there are two reports and they contradict each other. The second report, let me reiterate, despite its 2,000-page length, and I'm a lawyer, I've read it carefully, I cannot find any reference to a single document or any suggestion by any person that I've taken part in any corrupt activities. In my opinion, the investigation has been nothing short of an expensive witch hunt designed to defame me. This is to be expected. As we know, the same report has been used to defame others who are not even mentioned in it. It is clear that the facts of the matter are completely irrelevant to the DA leadership. While I'm resigning from the DA and I will lose my seat in council, I will not run away from their investigations. I offer to cooperate fully so that they can be brought to an end speedily, and I welcome the fact that these totally dippy charges have been referred to SAPS, and I hope that SAPS resolves them quickly too. I know many people will immediately want to know what I'll do now. I never entered politics to get a position. I became involved in active politics because I saw that our promised democracy was being undermined by the ANC, and I wanted to do my bit to fight for a better country. I will continue to do that, and the DA has just proved that it is not the vehicle for change that we need in our country and our city. It is clear that the DA is not a party that will ever govern this country. It is a lost cause, having abandoned both process and principle. To be elected to govern this country requires leadership and vision. Most importantly, It requires an authentic passion and care for the people. So much so that you're willing to champion and lead, even when it is difficult and uncomfortable to do so. The DA does not have this caliber of leaders in their midst or in their VIP lounge. As I mentioned, I'm a lawyer by training, and many years ago, actually almost 17 years ago to the day, I returned from living and working in New York, and I became involved in legal skills training and ran a law school which I still own. So I look forward to offering more leadership and management to the law school with my newfound free time. I'm passionate about cities. I've become passionate about cities. I wasn't passionate when I entered politics. I had no clue how interesting cities were. But I'm passionate about cities and governance. And through an international scholarship that I was awarded in recognition of my public service record, I'm currently enrolled in an MSc Master of Science degree in cities through the London School of Economics in London. And so I will now be able to give more time to this challenging postgraduate degree. I remain committed to improving the city and country, which I love and which I believe can be achieved by working for a better future for our citizens. I thank the many professionals within our administration who remain dedicated to their work and in their belief in focusing on delivering quality services to our citizens. I also humbly thank the citizens of Cape Town for the opportunity to serve them during the last decade in local government. It has been a privilege and quite sincerely the greatest honor of my life. I want to close by saying I was just at Delft, where I handed out 12 houses. Sorry. It's very interesting. No one objected to the land in Delft being released. There we are building 1,000 houses. Not one person objected to that piece of land being released to poor people who need it. But here I stand in Salt River, and we cannot release this for affordable housing. I can't believe it. Finally, I want to thank Ian Nielsen, who sent me a text message this morning offering to reappoint me to Maker. Clearly that's not tenable in these conditions and what I've just said. I thank you very much for being here. I will take some questions.
Mr. Herron, in terms of the criminal charges that were laid against you, firstly, have you been contacted by any of the police to assist in that investigation? And secondly, your political history is with the Independent Democrats. I know you say you want to concentrate on your law school, but is there any, do you know of any talk of rebuilding an ID movement, and are you willing to join that caucus if that so happens?
I know of no talk of the ID being reformed, and it doesn't make sense to me that there would be talk of the ID being reformed. You know, parties have their time, and that time comes and goes. So I don't believe the ID will be reformed, and I'm not aware of any talk other than what is speculated in the media and fed to the media by people in the DA as what's going to happen. Around the criminal charges, I haven't had any contact from SAPS. The criminal charges are interesting because the report doesn't actually say lay criminal charges against Brett Herron. It's just an arbitrary paragraph in the recommendation that criminal charges need to be laid. It doesn't say against whom, and it doesn't say for what. So I saw that the Speaker issued a statement. He was very detailed about the charge that he laid against Patricia De Lille, but he just mentions that he also laid charges against me. I have attorneys. My attorneys are dealing with these two Bowman's reports. They're advising me, and one of them was going to make contact with SAPS today to find out what exactly I've been charged with.